Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Ebb and Glow podcast. Today's episode is a solo one, as promised a few episodes ago. So, the new schedule for the podcast is going to be every month or every 4 episodes, it will be one solo episode, one episode with a friend of mine or someone I know personally already, and then 2 episodes with guests. So it's nice to kind of mix it up. I've noticed that a lot of people like to listen to episodes just when it's me, and also episodes when it's just me and the friend because the dynamic is different. So I'm excited to mix it up. Now, every month you will get a solo episode. And it's funny, as I was preparing for today's recording, I always think, what do I have to talk about? And let's be honest, this whole podcast is all about the ebbs and flows in life. And I mean, if that's the theme, I always have something to talk about. Doesn't matter what's going on in my life. I'm sure there's some area in my life that's ebbing and flowing. And I love having this platform and this podcast to share those types of experiences with you and to be transparent and to show you that it doesn't matter what you see on the outside. There's actually real life stuff happening beneath the surface. And that's essentially what this is all about. So today's episode is all about ways that I basically alleviate sadness or try to put myself in a better mood. And it's funny, as I'm saying that right now, I'm having a little deja vu. Maybe I've dreamt about this before I'm actually recording. So that's funny that that just happened. Normally, this is a side tangent. Normally, I get a lot of deja vu, but I haven't had deja vu in months. So it's funny that I just had that feeling. So maybe my deja vu spurts are back because I tend to have them a lot. Anyways, my God, tangent. So it's funny when we watch people's lives on Instagram. If you look at my life on Instagram or Facebook or just on social media in general in the past like 6 weeks or 2 months, from an outsider standpoint, my life looks pretty good. I'm launching a website. I'm doing a lot of deals in real estate. I'm having a lot of fun with my friends. Like the pandemic is not happening really anymore in Toronto. Patios are open again. Like I'm always out with friends and kind of doing my own thing. On top of that, I moved into a new condo a few months ago. Like life looks pretty great. But if I'm being honest, the past month or so, even though all of those things are true, like I am doing well in my career, I'm having lots of fun with my friends, I'm loving my new place. But all of those things can still happen and you can still have other things going on in your life. So for me personally, I would say over the past month or 6 weeks or so, there's been this underlying level of deep sadness, even though everything else is going well in my life. And I just want to say that those two things can happen simultaneously. You can still be doing great in your job. You can still be getting a new place. You can still be having a lot of fun with your friends. And there still could be stuff in your life that's making you sad. And those two things can happen, like I said, at the exact same time. So I just want to say that I have this problem as well. I watch people's lives on Instagram and I'm like, oh my God, they are literally living their best life. They're traveling through Europe, they're on a vacation, they're getting married. They just look so happy. But I'm sure if I really chatted to that person, I'm sure there's things in their life that are happening that they're not too happy about, or things that are kind of knocking them down. And I also want to use this episode to say and show that even if you are having those feelings of sadness and despair and maybe misalignment or just like sadness and just like feeling low, there are ways to mitigate and alleviate that and to find a different path to joy and get back on track to your happy go lucky self, the vibrant self that you're known for. Because I know for me, in general, I'm a very positive, happy, vibrant, cheerful person. But obviously, stuff is going to happen in your life that is going to knock you down. It's going to put you in this pit of just kind of a funk, just kind of sad. And I want to show you that On the outside, yeah, my life probably looks pretty good, but I can still be sad while all of those things are happening. And I want to show you that there are tangible, tactical things that you can do to get rid of that sadness or at least boost your mood in the meantime while you're going through those ebbs in your life. So let's jump into my list. And it's funny, this has only been happening over the past, I would say, 6 weeks. And I've been watching myself lately trying to figure out, okay, I'm sad today. What am I going to do about it? Am I going to just sit and wallow and be in pain and scroll through Instagram and just be miserable with my life? No. I'm the type of person that likes to take action. I want to change my mindset. I want to get back on the path of happiness and joy. And I'm going to show you that over the past 6 weeks or even just like a month, these are the things that have worked for me that keeps me in a good mood every single day, even if things in my life aren't working out. So, the number one thing for me lately has been movement. And movement could be as simple as the moment you wake up in the morning, get up and go for a walk. Even if it's to go for a quick walk to grab a coffee. And by the time you're back, like it's only been 15 minutes. Or you can double the time where once you get your coffee, walk a different way back home just to get those extra steps in and also just get that fresh air. I notice a big difference in my day. The days that I wake up and I just start working 3, 4 hours later, I'm already exhausted. And I find the rest of my day, I'm almost irritable. But I find the days that I get up and I either go for a walk or I do a workout, any bit of movement or fresh air, or just like getting out if it's sunny, any bit of movement puts me in such a better mood, like such a better mood. And for me lately, I've been finding a lot of joy in the Peloton app. So I don't have a Peloton, but in my condo, there's spin bikes. So what I've been doing is I've signed up for the Peloton app and I just like I put a class on my phone and I do the workout with the instructor. So obviously I don't have a Peloton, so I don't know the exact cadence or the exact resistance, but like if they say go harder, I go harder. Like it's very simple. What do you think everyone did with spin bikes before Peloton was a thing? Like I've been to many spin classes when it wasn't a Peloton bike. So for me, I find lately, like I'm excited. Like I've found a few instructors on the Peloton app that I really, really like, and I just love their personality. And I find myself going back to the same instructors all the time. And on the app, you can actually like filter out for instructors. You can filter out for certain music that you like. You can filter out for the duration of the workout. And for me, it's like, I'm not doing any kind of crazy workouts. I like to do 20 or 30 minutes. And sometimes I get excited in the morning where I'm like, ooh, like, let's do a full Taylor Swift class. Or the other day I did a full Britney Spears class. And like, I swear the workout felt like 5 minutes long. It was like 5 to 6 Britney Spears songs, 30-minute workout. And I'm like, am I at the club right now? Or am I doing a workout at 8 a.m.? And I found like, I think, guess it's like with the music and the personality of the instructor, it's just such a great way to start your day that it just instantly puts me in a good mood. And by the time I've done a quick shower, freshened up a little bit, like by the time I'm making a coffee and starting work, I'm like ready to go. And it just puts me in such a good mood for the day. And even throughout my day, I don't have to think about, oh my God, I have to work out. Oh my God, I don't have time to work out. It's like already done. So that's one thing that's been working for me a lot. The second thing that works for me lately is journaling. I have never been a journaling person. I mean, I have a podcast as opposed to a blog. Like I'd much rather talk than write. And it's funny, even like going through high school and university, I was really good at writing. I always did really well on like essays and stuff, but there's something about sitting down and just like journaling out my thoughts. I would almost rather speak them out loud. But anyways, I've gotten into journaling a lot more lately. And sometimes I do it in the morning, sometimes I do it at night. Anytime I find myself either triggered by something or emotional about something, or just, yeah, like even if my mood completely changes or someone like irritates me or annoys me, I find I just take it my journal and just start writing. And that sounds so simple, and it is really simple. Even today, as I was preparing for this podcast, I was like, let me just get all my thoughts down on paper. Let's write them out. And I never would have been like that. But I find with my practice of journaling a lot lately, I'm more willing to kind of write things down and get my thoughts organized. So for me, for journaling, I don't have any prompts per se. I kind of treat it like a classic diary lately. I just start writing whatever's in my head. I put the date down and I just start writing out my thoughts. And it's interesting. Once I'm done that, and mind you, it's only going to take like 15, 20 minutes, depends on how many thoughts I have to get out. But I find after I'm done, after it's all on paper, it almost feels like it's been released from me. You know what I mean? It just feels like I wrote it all out. So it's like out of me now, like it's been done with, it's been dealt with. And I know there's no truth in that, but it just feels like a big sigh of relief where the pressure is off. I've kind of sorted out how I feel about something. And I find lately for me, it's a way that I can express myself and get all my thoughts and feelings out without needing closure or answers from anyone else. I find a lot of times, and again, I'm a talker. I would rather talk it out with someone. I would rather tell someone how I feel, and I'd want them to know, and I'd want to know where I stand with someone, where they stand with me. I would just want all of those feelings out in the open normally. But I find lately, if I just journal it out, I get such a sense of inner peace now that I don't need to have those conversations with those people anymore. It's done. I don't need anything from them anymore. I don't have any expectations of them. Now, mind you, if those conversations happen later, I mean, my thoughts are organized. I have no emotions left to it. Like it's just facts after that. But I find the journaling and getting it all written down on paper just helps me get all of those emotions out. And I don't do it every day. I should, but I haven't yet. But I find, yeah, I use that immediately whenever I feel emotions coming up or sadness or anger or annoyance or any kind of feeling. And for me, it's not for everyone. It never was for me. But for me lately, yeah, journaling has been a big, big one lately. The third thing that has been helping me alleviate any sadness or boost my mood kind of ties into the journaling. And it's been this thing called shadow work. So essentially, over the past like month or 6 weeks, I've signed up for this program called To Be Magnetic. And it's like, it's part of the podcast Expanded. And it's all about, and if you know these terms, it's all about kind of unblocking shadow and kind of going through your inner child traumas. And then eventually you kind of get everything out and out into the open and understand yourself a little bit more so that then you can begin manifesting what you really want. So basically this course I'm doing through a woman called Lacey Phillips, her program basically states that we have no problem with manifesting, but we have a lot of blocks that are stopping us from manifesting. We have a lot of subconscious beliefs that we almost don't deserve things. So how in the hell are you supposed to manifest love, money, anything if deep down subconsciously you have some blocks there where maybe you think you don't deserve it? So, and there's many other examples of this, but all of her course is to do with unblocking those shadows, showing that, okay, if you're judging someone, that's actually more of a reflection on you. And why are you judging that person? What do you actually deep down think about you? Let's explore that a little bit more. So I find the course that I'm doing, it's kind of linking back to the journaling where I'm kind of writing out all my thoughts and my feelings a lot more than I normally would have. And I'm finding it's just helping me understand myself, helping me understand behavior patterns, helping me understand ways that I could stop those patterns from happening, and just being aware of how we react and how we handle situations. And I'm finding the course fantastic, and there's so many parts of the course that I'm doing, and I'm sure it'll take me like a year or so to kind of get through them all. But that linked with the journaling, I'm noticing it in myself when anything comes up that would normally make me react or normally would hurt my feelings or normally I would take very personally. I'm not as reactive anymore. And I'm more so curious because I notice myself that I would normally react. And then I get curious thinking, okay, why was I going to react to that? Why would I normally have taken that personally? And yeah, it's just making me a little bit more aware. And it's almost like an outer body experience from doing these courses and doing the journaling, that it's just giving me a better handle of all of my emotions at any given time. And like I said, that combined with the journaling has been helping a lot in terms of putting me in better moods, uplifting my spirits, and just kind of combing through any sadness that I'm dealing with. So, number 4 is kind of linked back to the first one I was talking about. And it's all about my condo amenities. And I mean, I guess the topic for this one is, how in your life can you treat yourself to almost more luxury? So, how can you figure out how to make your nightly routine more spa like? And I mean, you can use the classic terms of self care and blah, 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 but it's like, what are some little things that you can do that you really are taking care of yourself? You're almost like just adding so much more luxury to your life. And for me lately, that has been my condo amenities. So obviously during the pandemic, condo amenities have been closed for basically the past 2 years. So my condo amenities, I have a hot tub and I have a steam room. So my new routine every single night is, once I'm kind of done work and kind of just like maybe like an hour or so before I'm about to go to bed, I literally get my Kindle and I get my bathing suit on and I go down and I do about 15 to 30 minutes in the hot tub with the jets on, like the full jets. And I just sit there and like read. And then once I'm like literally too overwhelmed with heat because I can only handle a hot tub for so long, I then go in and I do the steam room. So at the steam room, it's like literally you're sitting there and you're almost sweating. It's like actual steam room. And I usually do that for about 10 minutes. And now I know not everyone has access to do this. So for me, how that is helping me is, it doesn't matter what has happened in my day. I find the moment I step foot into that hot tub and just kind of like sit down and like the jets are going and I'm sitting down and relax. By the time I'm done this little routine and by the time I come back upstairs, I'm like ready for bed. Like I am out within 10 minutes, enough time to take my contacts out, turn off the lights, and I'm in bed immediately. And I find doesn't matter what has happened in my day or week or what has happened. The moment I step in that hot tub and the moment I get in the steam room, it literally feels like it all just washes away. It feels like any problems I had, any feelings of anxiousness, sadness, anger, it just literally washes away. I'm immediately relaxed. And yeah, I'm just like, afterwards, I've noticed this in the past month. Afterwards, I'm just in such a better mood. I'm relaxed. I'm a lot more zen. I'm just ready for bed. Like the whole day doesn't matter anymore. It's like, it's done. Let it go. And I just go to bed. And I've been telling my friends lately, a couple of my girlfriends also have similar condo amenities that they have never used. And I'm like, girls, it is impossible to be sad when you're in a hot tub or a steam room. I'm sorry. Like that might be naive for me to say, but I don't know. For me, yeah, the moment I step foot in that hot tub, I'm like, oh yeah, life is good. So, how this can be a little bit more relatable to anyone else. So, before I had those condo amenities, I would take a lot of baths. So, how today or tonight can you add some luxury to your night? Maybe you can pour a bath, light a candle, maybe just like sit down and like dim all the lights and put on some soothing music and maybe journal and then maybe make a cup of tea. Think about what you would experience during a spa, or think about what you would experience during a massage or anything kind of like that. How can you replicate all of those things within your own home? Take the bath, take the hot shower, do a hair mask. I mean, we could all use a hair mask. Do a nice face mask. Like, just turn off all devices, put on some soothing music, light a candle, and just relax. How can you get yourself to relax and just let the day go? Whatever that is for you, start doing it, because I promise you, it will make a difference. I didn't think it would make a difference, but even there was a few nights, I think last week or a couple of weeks ago, I didn't kind of do my nightly routine of the hot tub and the steam room. And I noticed myself a little bit more anxious the next day and just like feelings kind of left over from the next day that I didn't process. And yeah, I noticed a big difference. So highly recommend. And I mean, you can also do like get a bath bomb, like do anything that makes whatever routine you're doing just a little bit more luxe. And I'm telling you, it will help. The next thing that always, no matter what, will always boost my mood or just put me in a better headspace is calling a friend or a family member. And the key is here, a couple options. I find for me, doing a full FaceTime definitely makes everything a lot better. And it's just that added extra touch that by the time I'm off the phone call, I just feel so much better. I feel so much more at ease. I'm lighter. I've probably have laughed a little bit. Yeah, I'm just in such a better mood. But also combine this with one of the other recommendations I made. So get out and do a walk. If it's a sunny day, get out and get some fresh air and call a friend. Call your grandmother, call your mom or dad that you haven't caught up with in a while. Like just call someone. And I don't know, it sounds so simple, but I mean, all of these things are so simple. But I'm telling you, for me, it always works wonders. And it could be as simple as I find even if I'm having a tough day, like, and I know my friends are working, I literally just like hit the FaceTime on them really quickly. And I might just like laugh and say hi. And they will both be like, what are you doing? And we're like, work. We'll sip our coffee a little bit, drink whatever we're drinking. And like literally it could be 2 minutes. And I find even just like seeing someone's face that you know really cares about you just puts you in a better mood. And sometimes like it could be a catch up with a friend that you're just like reminiscing about good times or you're just laughing and catching up. And I find sometimes with some friends, if I'm catching them, I could be on the phone for an hour, hour and a half. And then all of a sudden I get off the phone and yeah, I'm just in a better mood. So I find, yeah, call your family, call your friend. It'll just be worth it. And maybe it's the friend that might actually talk through some of the stuff that you're going through, maybe give you a different perspective, maybe just like help you kind of comb through your feelings. Like there's only a win when you call a friend or a family member. So I highly recommend that to be able to put you in a better mood. The next thing that helps me a lot is remember what your hobbies are. Find something that's going to really keep your mind busy. So for me, the biggest one for me is reading. So find a good book, get a fiction book. We work all day. Don't feel obligated to read another nonfiction book. We're always trying to hustle and do better and be better and self-growth and blah, 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 blah. I'm a culprit as well. But find a book where it's just like chick lit, like my favorite, or a thriller or a romance. Like read something that you're not going to learn anything from. You don't need to always be learning it. That's exhausting. Like you do know that your time can be spent by being entertained or just having fun, like and a hobby. So, like I said, the biggest one for me is reading, and it's always fiction. So find a book that you can just dive into that it seems like time it just like disappears. And why this works is you're focusing your mind on something completely different. You're whatever you're worried about or stressed about or kind of anxious about, you're forgetting about it. Now you're immersed in someone else's story, someone else's troubles or dating problems or whatever. And it's just fun to kind of like read as someone else's story, even if it's like fiction. Other things that you can do to really busy your mind that works for me, do a puzzle, do a painting. One thing I did recently that's not here yet, but I always love paint by numbers, always have. And I like puzzles and stuff too, but paint by numbers, I don't know, there's something about like the spring and I just want to be creative. And anyways, but I've always thought paint by numbers were kind of lame. Like kind of not the act of doing paint by numbers, but the pictures were like never inspiring. It was just kind of like bleh. So anyways, I was like, ooh, let's look up. I opened up Pinterest and I was like, what are some like modern paint by numbers? And anyways, I found some and I found this girl on Etsy that makes the most beautiful paint by numbers. And anyways, me and a girlfriend of mine, we ordered one. So they should come in a couple weeks, but it's such a beautiful painting that I'm probably going to put it up in my bathroom. Like I can't wait. So I know for me, once that arrives, that's going to be something that I'm looking forward to the day, a reason to turn work off. And that's what hobbies are, a reason to shut work off. Maybe your hobby is playing a sport. Get on the volleyball team again. I'm sure there's recreational sports going on. Get some friends together and shoot some hoops. Other activities could be maybe you like video games. Play a video game. Like, don't feel guilty about spending your time, not making money. We don't always need to be hustling. So just find something that busies your mind, keeps your hands busy. I find it always works for me, like the puzzle, the painting, something creative. Maybe you like knitting, maybe crocheting, maybe just like making anything. I'm telling you, it will take your mind off a lot of things and just kind of keep you busy. So the last couple of ones I want to tell you about that has helped me. So one of the last ones for me is make some plans. Find things to look forward to. There's nothing worse than when you're kind of feeling sad or things are upsetting you and you kind of don't know what's going on in your life. Maybe you feel misaligned. Maybe you've had a fight with a friend. Maybe you went through a breakup. Maybe you don't know what's going on with work. And you literally are so anxious for anything that's going to happen in the future. The one way to get around that is make plans, have other things to look forward to. So for me, I love concerts. Love, love, love concerts. They're so fun. It could be a dive bar and it could be a cover band or it could be an actual concert. It could be a weekend getaway. Honestly, it could be, yeah, like it could be anything. You just have to make plans. So one thing that I've been doing a lot lately is getting things in the calendar. So I have a bunch of different groups of girlfriends. So there's been a couple of concerts upcoming that we've had tickets to for a while. And it's just like, it's like $20 for like a cover band at a bar, but it's this band that we really like. And anyways, there's like 10, 15 of us going, and it's been in the calendar for like a month, and it's this upcoming weekend. So all month I've been like, woo, I can't wait for that weekend. And it's just something to look forward to and get excited about. Another thing that I have in the calendar is I just put another concert in the calendar. It's this cover band from university that always kind of comes to Toronto every now and then. And I was thinking, I was like, okay, I was using my own advice, trying to make plans and get things in the calendar. And I thought, okay, I wonder if they're coming to Toronto soon. And I look it up, and of course, they're coming to Toronto the end of April. So I was like, perfect. Texted a few girlfriends, was like, yeah, they're coming. Let's get tickets. Let's get it in the calendar. So again, that's a night of the weekend that's covered. It's done. And I find whenever I'm sad about things, I find I get even sadder when the weekend comes. I don't know why, but it's like you're sad about things and then you have no weekend plans. And I find if I'm planning a little bit ahead and getting things in the calendar, I'm not as anxious or sad about things like once the weekend comes. It reminds me that you're not lonely. You have tons of people that care about you and want to do things with you. And it just makes like life fun. The other things I've put in the calendar recently that I'm excited about, my birthday is coming up next month. So normally I'd kind of just like worry about it maybe a week in advance. But again, taking my own advice, I'm like, okay, let's get something planned. Let's look up some places to go out to eat. Like, what places do I want to go? So I'm spending the time planning these things, and I don't have time to be sad. I don't have the energy or this mind capacity to be sad because I'm planning these things. And then my mom's coming to visit in May. So I'm like, ooh, okay, maybe we'll do a get together with a bunch of my friends, do a brunch, like so much to look forward to. And you can hear it in my voice. And I'm sure anyone listening to this right now, it's like, Jenelle, there's no way in hell that you're sad about anything in your life. Like, you sound so vibrant and happy. And like I said at the beginning of this episode, you can be both. But I would say with doing all of these things lately in my life, the things that I'm telling you about in this episode, it has completely changed my outlook and my mood and just like my daily life, because I'm actively making these changes and actively wanting to be happy. So it's helping mitigate that a lot. Okay, last one before I conclude the episode. And it's so cliche, but find ways to romanticize your life. And it could be the littlest things, but you need to find the little things that's going to add joy in your day. So for me, it's buy fresh tulips. There's something about fresh tulips at the grocery store and putting them in a vase and looking at them all week or the next week and a half. It just makes me so happy. And I find when the spring comes, I buy them every single week. They're $8, $10. And I can tell you, they're just going to boost your mood so much every single day. Other little ways that you can romanticize your life is music. Turn on a killer playlist. So one thing I've been doing, I'm really particular about playlists. So I'm like, frig it, I'm just going to make my own. So I made this playlist on Spotify called Time to Slay. And basically I turn on this playlist anytime I need a mood booster, anytime I'm getting ready to go out and meet clients. But basically it's like all of my favorite songs. I was just like, yeah, let's get it. Let's do it. Anytime I hear a song that like really gets me pumped up and like happy, I add it to this playlist. So now it's kind of like, yeah, like mood booster, confidence booster, time to slay. Other little things that you can do to just romanticize your life a little bit is turn on a diffuser in the morning. I find diffusing some peppermint oils or orange or anything citrus, there's obviously some aromatherapy to that. It will boost your mood a lot more. And like baking helps me a lot. If cooking is something you love to do, like just add so many little parts to your day that it's just going to add joy to your life. It's typical, it's cliche, but I'm telling you, it will help. So those are the ways that I have been lately, putting myself in a lot better mood, helping myself get out of a pit of sadness. And I can guarantee you that if you implement some of these in your life as well, I think you'll notice a big difference. And I just want to remind you that, again, all of these things are very simple. You have them in reach at all times. You just have to make the decision to use those tools. Call a friend, get out and go for a walk. Remind yourself of what your hobbies are. Turn on a killer playlist. Make your life a little bit more luxurious. This is your one life. What are you going to do with it? Why not make it the most luxurious life that you can? Why not want to be happy as much as you can every single day? And I will say that, as I said a couple of times in this episode, you can be killing it in your career, have a beautiful relationship, have a beautiful home, and still be sad about something. Those two things are allowed to be happening at the same time. But there comes a point where you need to knock yourself out of the sadness. If you're sad at all times, you are going to be bringing down the mood of everyone around you. And you don't want to be that person. You don't want to be around that person. But it's okay to be sad. It's okay to be down. It's okay to go through hard times. I mean, this whole podcast is about the ebbs and flows in life. They're going to happen, but it's up to you to decide how long you're going to let them keep happening. And how long are you going to sit in that sadness? How long are you going to sit in the shame and the guilt and the anger? Yeah. Think about that. How long do you want to keep poisoning yourself with the anger, the sadness, the guilt, the contempt? It's not worth it. It's not worth it. I just hope today's episode gives you some ideas and gives you a bit of a pep talk to say, yes, you might be in the sadness right now. You might be in a terrible mood and you might not see the light at the end of the tunnel right now. But I can guarantee you, if you do some of these things today, these very small changes, I can guarantee you that you will get out of that bad mood and you will get out of that level of sadness and level of just like despair. I use these solo episodes to give you a front row seat into what my life actually looks like and the real ebbs and flows of what's going on. Nothing is what you see on Instagram. And just remember that as you are scrolling through my profile, through anyone's profile, there's a real human behind all of those profiles that are going through the same ups and downs that you are in life. And don't forget those things. Don't think they are beyond you in terms of their humanness. Okay, I'm going to close it out here. Thank you so much for listening. I've loved having you here, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.